Hi, welcome to the Story Harbor. Today we're reading 5 Christmas books together. The Berenstain Bears Christmas Tree, Little Blue Truck's Christmas, Pete the Cat Saves Christmas, Pick a Pine Tree, and A Simple Christmas on the Farm. Let's get started. The Berenstain Bears Christmas Tree by Stan and Jan Berenstain. Subscribe to our channel for more books for kids. In Bear Country, Christmas excitement was mounting. The waiting was down to 10 hours and counting. The holly was hung, the presents were bought, a magnificent Christmas salmon was caught. And now it was time for the most fun of all, getting the tree. A tree full and fat, straight green and tall, with oodles of needles and crannies and nooks, for the bears to hang their tree things by hooks. "The tree things!" cried Pop with the jolliest shout. "Our wonderful tree things! Let's get them out!" They had quite a collection. There were bangles and bells and bright-colored balls, boxes of things in closets and cupboards and corners of halls. There were some that were heirlooms, saved year after year. A Santa Bear sled with tiny reindeer, strings of bright beads to hang in festoons, a musical bear that sang Christmassy tunes. "'Tis the season to be furry, especially if you're a bear." But the bear's finest tree thing, their finest by far, was the thing for the top, their Christmas tree star. It had 18 points and was so glittery bright that the stars of the heavens seemed dim in its light. "What an array! What a display!" Papa Bear bragged, quite carried away. "What a grand and glorious sight it will be when we hang all this stuff on our Christmas tree. Why, bears will come from near and far to see how Christmassy we are." So all the bears needed now, don't you see, all that they needed now was the tree. A tree straight and tall, fine, full, and fat. "Come, cubs," said Papa as he put on his hat. "Now be sure to dress warmly," said wise Mama Bear. "There's more than a hint of snow in the air. And, oh yes, buy our tree down the road from Grizzly Gus. I am sure he will have the right tree for us." "Snow?" said Papa, sniffing the air. "Not a chance. The weather today will be bright and fair. I can always tell if it's going to snow by a sharp shooting pain in my left big toe." "As for Gus and those trees lying in stacks, not for us," Papa said as he took up his axe. "But Papa," said Brother, "I don't mean to fuss, but Mom said to buy one from Grizzly Gus." "One of those?" snorted Papa. "Fresh cut indeed. They look more like some overgrown evergreen weed." Now brother and sister usually did what Mom said, but not Papa. He did whatever came into his head. And a fine fat tree is what came into his head that particular Christmas. "No matter what, no matter where, if it means going down to the Panama Isthmus, if it means climbing up to the top of Pike's Peak, I will find it," he said, "if it takes us a week." "But Christmas," said Sis, "is just hours away. We must find our Christmas tree today." But Pop didn't hear. By now he was really quite carried away. He was forgetting something that day, that Christmas is more than show and display, more than just tinsel and pink plastic stars and stuffing yourself with sugar nut bars. There was something important that he was forgetting. Christmas is for giving. It isn't forgetting. This was a time to be thinking of others, mamas, papas, sisters, brothers, a time to think of each neighbor and friend. But all that was forgotten as they rounded a bend. As they rounded that bend, what did they see? Papa's perfect Christmas tree! What a tree! What a tree! This surely it was it. Its green was so green, its tall didn't quit. Its nooks all had crannies, its crannies had nooks. The one question was, would they have enough hooks? "Stand back," said Papa, getting ready to chop. "Wait," Sister cried. "Hold it, please, stop." On the timely advice of small Sister Bear, Pa managed to stop his axe in mid-air. And a good thing, too, for that Christmas tree's trunk just happened to be the home of a skunk. And some squirrels and a grouse and one small chipmunk also resided in that Christmas tree's trunk, plus 26 crows who were renting upstairs, and not one of them happy to see those 3 bears. "Though this tree," said Pa, "seemed quite a find, it isn't quite what I had in mind." There was something else Pa hadn't in mind as they rapidly left Mr. Skunk's tree behind. The coming great day was the skunk's Christmas too, and the squirrels and the chipmunks. If he chopped down their tree, what would they do? And the crows and the grouse, what would they do if he chopped down their house? Where would they have their holly and bells, their Christmas goodies, their Christmassy smells? How would they enjoy their Christmas feast? But such questions as those did not bother Papa, not in the least. His head was so filled with his bangles and bells, his bright-colored balls, his tree things stacked up in closets and halls, that there just wasn't room for anything more. "Onward!" he cried, and the bears pressed on with their Christmas tree chore. "We will find the right tree, we must and we will. I will ford any stream, climb any hill, go over Niagara Falls on a log, penetrate the impenetrable fog, brave the terrors of sinister bog. We will find the Christmas tree we seek, we will find it," said he, "if it takes us a week." "But please," said Sister, "we must find a tree soon." "She's right, Dad," said Brother. "It's late afternoon." "A tree," cried Papa, "fine, full, and fat, straight, green, and tall." And at that very moment, the snow Mom predicted started to fall. "Remember," said Dad, "a Christmas tree is something we cannot do without, because a tree like that one straight ahead is what Christmas is about." Then, without so much as a passing thought about whether he should or whether he ought, he raised his axe and got ready to chop. "Stand back," he said, reckoning where the tree would drop. It was quite a fine tree, sedate and tall, graceful and regal. It was also, it happened, the home of an eagle, and a hawk, and a wolf, and a great snowy owl. The eagle took off, while the hawk and the wolf and the great snowy owl set up a terrible howl. The noise seemed to come from every direction. Then Mr. Eagle expressed his objection. "No, that tree back there wasn't quite it. Its green was too green and it leaned a bit. It wasn't quite what I had in mind. Come, we still have a tree to find." Completely ignoring Papa's big toe, the snow had become a really big snow. A snow of snows, a blizzard of blizzards. Why, there was snow on the ground up to their gizzards. "Up the mountain, follow me. I'll find one soon, you'll see, you'll see." "I certainly hope so," said Sister, quite worried. "That's right," added Brother. "In a snow like this, a bear could get buried." But Papa pressed on with just one thing in mind, that perfect tree he was going to find. "Full and fat," he cried, "tall and green, the finest tree you've ever seen." "Now that is the kind of tree I mean." "Hurry," said Sister, "chop it down." "Yes," said Brother, "we still have time to get back to town." But Pop was silent as he looked at that tree, strangely silent. What did he see? What Papa saw through the driving snow was a tiny window. Within, a glow. Pop hardly breathed. He spoke not a word. What he saw through the window was a tiny snowbird busily trimming his Christmas tree with the help of the members of his family. Their tree was a twig decorated with seeds that the tiny snowbirds had collected from weeds. And for the first time that day, Papa saw Christmas in a different way. Maybe it was the tiny twig tree, or maybe the seeds that helped Papa see the other guy's needs. But whatever it was, Papa shouldered his axe and spared the tree. He remembered what Christmas is really about. He'd had it all backward and inside out. "This," said Pop, with a far-off Christmassy look in his eye, "is a time to think of the other guy. A time," he continued, "to be thinking of others. Mamas, papas, sisters, brothers, nature's creatures, great and small, fellow creatures, one and all." "But Papa," said Sis, "what about our tree? The tree for our bells, our bright-colored balls." "Yeah," added Brother, "and all that stuff in our closets and halls." "No problem," said Pa. "There's no need to fuss. We'll go back and buy one from Grizzly Gus." "Grizzly Gus," both cubs said together. "After that trip, and that climb, and this weather?" "Don't bother me with questions," said Pop. Then he found an old stump and started to chop, and quick as a flash there were 3 pairs of skis. "Here," Papa said, "slip into these." So Pop and the cubs put on skis and went back for one of old Grizzly's trees. But when they got back to the Christmas tree lot, the lot was still there, but the trees were not. Only a sign saying, "Sorry, sold out," and some tired old needles lying about. When Sis saw those needles, well, she thought she might cry. But then something wondrous caught her eye. "Look!" she shouted. "Somebody has decorated our house!" And somebody had. The chipmunk, the skunk, the crows and the grouse, the eagle, the owl, and all of the others, and quite a few of their sisters and brothers, were returning the kindness Pa showed those snowbirds. The bears, they were speechless. They just had no words. All of the bears' tree things were there. The bangles, the bells, the musical bear, the Christmas tree star, the Santa Bear sled. "Why, everything's shining," Sister suddenly said. Then a very special starry light filled the sky that Christmas Eve night. It didn't come from the pink plastic star. It was the light of the real Christmas star. The true Christmas spirit shone down that night. It filled the whole sky with a lovely light. It charged the cold, clear bear country air. It filled the heart of every bear. And their fellow creatures, one and all, nature's creatures, great and small. Next day at dinner, Brother Bear wondered, "Pop, on that thinking of others bit, how about the salmon? How about it?" "Your remark," said Papa, "shows wit and perception, but in the case of the salmon, we'll make an exception." Little Blue Truck's Christmas, written by Alice Schertle, illustrated by Jill McElmurray. Subscribe to our channel for more Read Aloud books for kids. Beep, 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 December's here. Little Blue Truck is full of cheer. Every Christmas, Little Blue has a delivery job to do. 5 trees ready to take a ride. How many trees will fit inside? 1 tree, 2 trees, 3 trees, 4. Just enough room for 1 tree more. 5 green trees make 1 big load. Beep, says Blue, let's hit the road. Blue has friends both far and near. Who needs a Christmas tree this year? Honk, says the goose, this big one, please. Now there are 4 green Christmas trees. Moo, says the cow, this tall one, please. Now there are 3 green Christmas trees. Oink, says the pig, this fat one, please. Now there are 2 green Christmas trees. Ma, says the goat, this short one, please. Now there is 1 green Christmas tree. One tree left in a little blue truck. 1 tree left, what very good luck. Little Blue Truck needs a Christmas tree. Beep, 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 this one's for me. Pete the Cat Saves Christmas. Created and illustrated by James Dean. Story by Eric Litwin. Subscribe to our channel for more Read Aloud books for kids. 'Twas the day before Christmas, and Santa was ill. In the cold winter wind, he had caught a bad chill. Will Christmas be canceled? Will it come to that? Never, cried Santa. Let's call Pete the Cat. Santa asked Pete to deliver the toys to all the good girls and to all the good boys. I'll do it, said Pete. And although I am small, at Christmas we give, so I'll give it my all. Give it your all, give it your all. At Christmas we give, so give it your all. Pete jumped in his minibus and started to roll. Road trip, cried Pete. First stop, the North Pole. The reindeer were waiting to give Pete a tow, so he packed up the presents and told them to go. Then the minibus flew, just like in a movie. Pete the Cat cried, "This is totally groovy!" I can do it, said Pete. And although I am small, at Christmas we give, so I'll give it my all. Give it your all, give it your all. At Christmas we give, so give it your all. As the children were sleeping all snug in their beds, Pete and his reindeer appeared overhead. Straight down the chimney Pete flew in a dash, then back in his minibus, quick as a flash. Each time he delivered a holiday gift, he crossed off a name written on Santa's list. Santa's list was so big, and Pete felt so small. But at Christmas we give, so he gave it his all. Give it your all, give it your all. At Christmas we give, so give it your all. At the very last minute they reached the last house. Pete dashed in and out just as quiet as a mouse. Then right at the break of the new Christmas day, Pete and his reindeer were flying away. Back at the North Pole, old Santa was waiting. The elves and the townsfolk were all celebrating. Thank you, Pete. Small is cool. Santa was dressed in his red coat and hat and cried, "Hip, hip, hooray for our friend Pete the Cat." "I did it," said Pete, "and although I am small, in the spirit of Christmas I gave it my all. Give it your all, give it your all. At Christmas we give, so give it your all." Pick a Pine Tree by Patricia Tote. Illustrated by Jarvis. Pick a pine tree from the lot. Slim and tall or short and squat. One with spiky needle clumps, scaly bark, or sappy bumps. Long straight limbs or branches bent. Just smell that piney scent. Lift the tree above your head. Bundle it upon your sled. Or, if you live very far, bring it home atop your car. Now, move aside a lamp or chair. Clear away a section where your tree will sit, tall and grand, snug and sturdy in its stand. Trim the trunk a little bit, just enough so it will fit. Slip it in and turn screws tight. They will hold your tree upright. Fill with water to the brink. Give your thirsty tree a drink. Then, find the trimmings stored within bulging boxes, rusty tins, paper bags, a wooden case. Bring them to that special place there beside your tree. But wait! Don't decorate alone. Call some people on the phone. Ask your friends to come and stay. Host a decorating day. Stretch along some twinkling lights, a colored mix or simply white. Fat round bulbs or pointy tips, bubble lights or candle clips. Start up top or near the base, wrap around and tuck in place. Next, hang ornaments upon your tree. What kinds of trinkets will they be? Jolly Santas, dancing elves, wooden reindeer, jingle bells, lacy snowflakes, paper dolls, candy canes, and bright glass balls. With loops of thread or wire hooks, hang them all in little nooks. Add the final touches now. Garlands strung from bough to bough. Strands of tinsel on the tips, falling down in silver drips. Then, grab a footstool, climb right up, set something wonderful on top. A golden star, a velvet bow, an angel dressed in flowing robes. Lay a tree skirt down below, add some houses flecked with snow, a train that chugs around a track, secret presents in a sack. At last it's time to make it shine, plugging lights along the floor. Look, it's not a pine tree anymore. It's a Christmas tree. Gather round the tree to sing. Let your joyful voices ring. Celebrate as nighttime falls. Merry Christmas, one and all. A Simple Christmas on the Farm by Phyllis Alsdorf, illustrated by Lisa Hunt. Subscribe to our channel for more Read Aloud books for kids. When white frosts the barnyard fence posts and snow blankets cover the fields, when boughs on the pines hang heavy and snowdrifts pile next to the barn, that's when we start to get ready for Christmas on the farm. Is it Christmas yet? I ask. The little red barn usually looks forgotten and shabby, but today it dazzles in the winter sunshine. Soon, Daddy says. I want to buy a tree and start decorating right away. But Mama laughs and says to slow down. We're keeping things simple this year for Christmas on the farm. A simple Christmas? I ask. What about presents? We'll have presents, Daddy says, but we're going to make them ourselves. We'll focus less on getting and more on giving, Mama adds. I'm not sure I'll like having a simple Christmas on the farm. The next day, we trudge through the woods to pick a tree. I want a big one, but Mama eyes a small, scraggly one. Just right, she says. We drag it home and put it in a tub. Daddy strings it with lights. I loop more along the barnyard fence. Now it's starting to look like Christmas on the farm. Then I have an idea. Let's have Christmas in the little red barn. We'll make our own decorations, says Mama, and set up a big table, says Daddy, with room for everyone who wants to come to Christmas on the farm. Soon it's time to make cookies. Mama rolls out dough and I cut out shapes. Some we hang with ribbons on the tree, some we eat. Mama says we're going to share most of them. Share our cookies? I ask. I hope we'll have enough left for Christmas on the farm. We take the truck into town, bringing our cookies with us. We visit the Senior Living Center like we do every month. This time, we hand out cookies and sing Christmas carols. My favorite nurse sings along. I whisper an idea to Mama. She smiles and nods. I ask the nurse, will you come sing with us at Christmas on the farm? The next day, I hand a cookie to the mail carrier, then several to the farm workers. When the vet comes to visit our cows, I give cookies to her and her kids. We're having Christmas in our barn, I tell them all. Will you come? Will you come to Christmas on the farm? One afternoon, Daddy pulls me on a sled to Grandma and Grandpa's house next door. Grandma takes out a basket of fabric, scraps, buttons, and yarn and shows me how to make star ornaments. Grandma is knitting something, but she won't let me see. A surprise, she says, for Christmas on the farm. Mama and I work on more gifts. We heat rocks in the oven, then rub crayons over them in colorful designs. And we make coasters using old Christmas cards, one for each person coming to Christmas on the farm. On Christmas Eve, Daddy and I cover a long table with white paper. Mama adds evergreen boughs and pine cones. I set a coaster at each place, and Grandma arranges her homemade candles. Grandpa sets a small hand-carved manger in the middle of the table. "Can you put baby Jesus in the manger?" he asks. Now everything is ready for Christmas on the farm. That night I put on my red Christmas dress and Mama braids my hair. Then we pick up Grandma and Grandpa on our way to church. We sing songs and hear the Christmas story. The minister tells us about Jesus, born in a manger, surrounded by farm animals. The first Christmas was simple too. I'm getting excited about our own Christmas on the farm. The next morning, I wake to a wonderful smell. I tiptoe downstairs just as Mama takes a pan of my favorite cinnamon rolls out of the oven. "Merry Christmas, everyone!" Grandma and Grandpa call out, stamping snow from their boots. Now I'm getting hungry for Christmas on the farm. I pass out my homemade presents. "Simply beautiful," Mama says. Grandpa brings out a wooden tool bench he made just for me. Mama and Daddy give me a box of wood scraps of every shape and kind, plus some secondhand tools so I can make creations of my own. I unwrap a pair of red mittens and a winter scarf from Grandma, soft and warm. Every gift is perfect for our simple Christmas on the farm. Soon people start pulling into the yard with shouts of "Merry Christmas!" Friends and neighbors carry crock pots and other dishes into the little red barn. I see a basket of fresh-baked buns and a huge tray of Christmas cookies, bowls of roasted potatoes, candied yams, roast beef, and a large pan of tamales soon fill the table. What a feast we'll have for Christmas on the farm! Before we eat, everyone forms a big circle. The little red barn looks magical and bright. We hold hands and sing "Away in a Manger," the perfect carol for Christmas on the farm. We spend the day eating, talking, and playing. People drink hot chocolate and work on puzzles or play board games inside. Some go sledding, skate on the pond, or join a snowball fight outside. And the kids win the snowman making contest. It's all part of the fun of Christmas on the farm. Finally, everyone says goodbye and heads for home. Lights from cars and trucks dot the horizon as they move in a line along the gravel road. Quiet settles over the little red barn, and stars twinkle above the snowy fields. I try not to yawn. I don't ever want this day to end. "I can't wait for next year," I say. "I want a simple Christmas again. A simple Christmas on the farm."
Thanks so much for watching. Please do hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. It really helps us to grow. We post new Read Aloud books for kids every week, so we'll see you back here soon.